welcome back to my channel. And today, as you can see, we got BMW X5. That's my personal car, my workhorse, my pretty much daily-ish car. I mean, I own it about 4 years so far, and guess what? It never let me down. It's done over 250,000 miles. Yes, 250,000 miles, which is over 250. I think it shows like 255,000 miles at the moment, but it has actually about 15, 12-ish miles more, so it's probably about 270-ish thousand miles this car has been done. And I own it since 146,000 miles when I bought it about more than 4 years ago. So what we are doing today? Today I finally over probably a year decided to do a clutch change. I'll do flywheel and clutch in the same time, plus I'm gonna do secondary fuel pump and the fuel filter, because at times if I accelerate hard it shows fuel injection system, but it still goes, it's sort of like a limp mode. And let's say if you're driving along in 6th gear, it can die, but you can literally put it in a sort of neutral, start up whilst you're rolling, put it in neutral, switch it off, back on, and it goes fine. But it's been over a year now like that, but I mean it's getting annoying at some point. But I'll try secondary fuel pump because it shows on diagnostic, it shows something with the rail pressure monitoring, so basically not enough fuel to the engine whilst I'm accelerating hard. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, by the way, if you're wondering why black bonnet, over a year ago I sort of pulled the lever inside and walked off, literally because I wanted to jump start another car. So I pulled the lever and sort of walked away, left it for like a couple hours, and I was somewhere supposed to go. I was sort of in a rush, supposed to go somewhere, and about 50 miles an hour it just opened up, smashed the windscreen. I got a windscreen replaced already, but at the time I had this laying around, which is pre-facelift. As you can see, big gaps there, different grille. And I mean, for now, I mean, I don't bother about it, so that's why I got a black bonnet. But it's actually, so it's alright. But if I'll find someone in the same color, probably I'll buy it. But at the moment, I'm not bothered. You can stay like that. So I'm gonna introduce to my car a little bit. This is BMW X5 E53 2005, manual, obviously facelift. Option wise, it's genuine sport, that's the main thing. Main reason why I bought it is because I needed 4x4 anyway, because I'm towing a lot, and it's manual, because obviously if you know, the Gearbox is not so great, especially on pre-facelift GM Gearbox, which is 5-speed. On the facelift versions you got 6-speed Gearbox, which is way better than GM 5-speed. So what I've done in these four years plus of ownership, I've done V8 brakes, twin pod brakes on these, so I got bigger discs as well, because I found whilst I'm towing brakes is not the best, but with these brakes it's pretty much good. What else I've done? Yeah, I had the original 5-spoke alloy wheels 19s. These are from IS version 20s, which I find quite good. I mean, handles way better than 19s with the 50 tire profile, but this one I think is 40, yeah, and I think 40 at the back as well. And my car is more sort of stable when you're cornering, especially on the roundabout. Interior wise, nothing special. I had sport seats, but I came across these comfort seats, which got a little button there. I can adjust half the back, which is very comfy for me, because in a year or so I found sport seats is very uncomfortable. But comparing to these, I can't complain. I literally love them. I mean, Could be a bit of better bolster on the whilst you're cornering, but apart from that, they're pretty much perfect. Another thing is what I found whilst I'm owning a E53s, they have pretty much all factory wiring. Let's say if you want to do any retrofits, that means originally this car didn't have the heated seats. But what do you do if you want to, let's say, install heated seats? What do you get is basically seat itself, if it's, let's say, heated, and panel. So everything is plug and play, and that's it. You literally just plug it and you got a heated seat options, and there is no wiring involved whatsoever, cutting, literally splicing wires or whatever. All the wiring is there from factory. So at the back we got nothing fancy. I bought it without a tow bar, but I've installed the genuine tow bar. What I do advise, if you do tow a lot, if it's detachable tow bar, it's probably gonna go at any sort of moment, because after a year or so I found it's starting to wiggle, so I've decided to weld it on permanently. So since then I didn't have any issues. Lost the cover, but that's replaceable. Starting a bit of a rust there, but as I said, if I'll get some sort of a car in the same color, I'll probably gonna replace both boots, because got a little dent there, obviously rust at the bottom. These are pre-facelift corner lights. As you can see, these are clear ones, these are not so clear, because once I've reversed and accidentally smashed one light, so I had these laying around, so I replaced them instead of buying the clear ones. So if I'll come across, I'll replace them, and then pretty much that's it. I mean, nothing special. I've also installed the E46 steering wheel, found it a bit more comfortable, and yeah, as I said, I'm using this car as a workhorse. This literally takes me everywhere where I need. I've personally done over 120,000 miles in it without any issues. Does great MPG, non-towing 40 plus, towing 35-ish, so which is brilliant for towing. 100 pounds full tank, and if you're towing, you can do probably 450 miles. Without towing, you can do 600 up to 600 miles. So I reckon for 4x4 it's brilliant. To change a clutch on a 4-post ramp is not the best, but 2-post ramp is busy, so I had no choice. I'm gonna use 4-post ramp. Bit more struggle, but I'll be fine. We're gonna do exhaust, transfer box, and actual box afterwards. It's quite a big lump, and I'm alone, so I'll take the transfer box first and then actual gearbox, obviously with the transmission jack. I took the exhaust off, and whilst I'm here I want to show you something which is very common fault on E53's facelift. As you can see there, this is cast iron manifold. They do come from factory steel ones, which is very common to crack, and I found my one cracked literally after a couple, maybe a month or so. I already noticed smoke coming inside the cabin, and I've done a little research, and obviously took my manifold off and there was a crack. I did weld it first time, because I didn't have nothing sort of now to buy it, but it didn't last long. It lasted probably a couple months and it cracked somewhere else. So if you ever get a chance to replace it, replace with a cast iron one, which now costs about 70 quid from eBay, and it's been like what, 3rd year now, no issues whatsoever. we got access to the transfer box now. As you can see, the transfer box is always going to be separate. It will be detachable from actual gearbox. So this section is our gearbox, and this section is our transfer box, which obviously gives the drive to the front differential for the front wheel drive as well. So we're going to take this off first, obviously disconnect the front prop shaft, take that one off first, and then we're going to disconnect the gearbox. There is a couple bolts in the front of the transfer box and a couple at the back. They're all E-type bolts. Here's the transfer box. As you can see, a couple bolts on the top, a couple on the bottom, and it's off. It will be much easier to replace, sort of take the gearbox out. Now we're taking the clutch slave cylinder off. There's only two 13mm nuts. We can take it out. Remember, don't take the pipe off, otherwise you have to bleed it afterwards, but you can easily take off two 13mm nuts and put it on the side. The longitudinal engine, which obviously rear wheel drive, I use long extension to access top bolts. I mean, I can't imagine any other way I'm doing the top bolts for the gearbox. Don't forget about 10mm bolt on dust plate. There's only one this side, so otherwise you'll be struggling to take the gearbox off. Not sure why they are for manual gearboxes, but obviously if you would have a automatic, you would take this off and undo the torque converter. Obviously keep spinning the engine and you have access for torque converter bolt. Now we got a gearbox off, and obviously we'll get access to clutch and flywheel. That's what we're gonna do now. It's not that actually bad as I thought, to be honest. But flywheel is making some sort of strange noises, so I'm guessing it's being changed at some point. Well, I personally done in this one probably 100, yeah, about 120-ish K miles. So I was like, I should buy the whole kit. Reuse the bolts, but I can apply a Loctite, make sure it doesn't leak the oil, because I don't have a brand new bolt, to be honest, but should be fine with the old ones, 100%. So we got a self-adjusting clutch. I mean, clutch disc is clutch disc, doesn't matter, but over here on the pressure plate, we got this special middle piece in. So basically it releases the pressure so that I can center, put a clutch disc itself in center. So what I'm gonna do, I got this sort of homemade special tool. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put this in the center. Also, you see it's sort of a bit loose. Hopefully it'll be alright. I'll adjust it afterwards. So it worked once for me when I've done the clutch on the E60, same clutch, but hopefully it's gonna work for me second time as well. This is how I do it. I don't know, it might work, it might not, but I'll take, as I said, I was gonna take the risk. So I'm gonna install this Allen key. I'm gonna sort of press it. That's obviously gonna centralize the clutch disc itself, and then I'm sort of gonna quickly release it, and that should stay in the middle. So fingers crossed, let's try. So I'm gonna press it, sort of try to press it, centralize it. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Could be a bit better, but that might work. I'm not sure. We'll give it a try. Hopefully that'll be alright. That's it, I can put a gearbox back in. Before we obviously install the gearbox, we're gonna replace the clutch fork and the release bearing. You see, it's a bit of a difference, bit of wear on these. Doesn't matter which way you put it, both ends same. This goes in the middle, and same for this. Doesn't matter which way you put it, obviously it goes one way. It just clips in. That's it. There you go. All I'm gonna do is grease sort of just a tiny bit on the edge. That's nearly in, so that means my special tool worked fine. That's perfect. That's all I wanted to know this. Now we're gonna align the bolts. Just catch the thread. Make sure wire is not trapped. For reverse sensor, which is we got down here, that's fine. Assembled the gearbox so far, everything's back in, but I didn't want to connect the prop shaft because I had to take this cover off to access the fuel filter and secondary fuel pump. So this and this, we're gonna change it. And obviously this is for our Webasto unit, little pickup pump. All X5 diesel versions came with it, but I mean, in the UK weather, you don't need it, to be honest. Last two bolts, and I'm done. Now we're gonna prime the fuel. It's a self-priming one, and as you can hear it, it's still priming because obviously we changed the secondary fuel pump and we changed the fuel filter itself. So just gonna do a couple ignitions on. It should be fine. First thing we're gonna do is check the clutch. Oh, it feels stiffer already. Clutch feels much better. All the gears seem to be fine. Now time for a test drive, see if fuel injection system comes up. So guys, we have finished the job. Clutch wasn't that bad as I expected, but still needed changing. My main concern was the flywheel. It was making some strange noises, but now everything seemed to be fine. Also, I found a bit of a strange noise on the gearbox side. It's like a sort of a clunking noise, but I mean, it drives fine, shit's fine, so when it's gonna go, I'm just gonna replace it afterwards. Anyway, yeah, main concern what my concern was the fuel injection system on a harsh acceleration and whilst I was towing, let's say uphill or somewhere. It was sort of going like in limp mode. It might even stall, and then you just need to restart it. So what I've done is, as you saw, is a secondary fuel pump and fuel filter. Because previously I've changed just fuel filter, it didn't make any difference, so I've used it for like half a year. So sort of was dealing with it. But now I changed the secondary fuel pump and the fuel filter, and I've took it for a test drive, and it seemed to be absolutely fine. So hopefully it's gonna stay that way. But so you know, if you ever come across with the fuel injection system and the car sort of runs fine, it's a bit low on power. So just double check your secondary fuel pump. Also, I'm happy with car. Hopefully it's gonna last another sort of 250,000 miles. We'll see. I still need little bits and pieces to do. I mean, you probably will see in next episodes, and also I'll probably want to do IS kit on this one, but if something comes across, I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can buy. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna leave as it is. Also, I need the new bonnet, as you can see. And so yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, found it useful, give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.